pledge allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Ms. Brooke.
Commissioner Story? Commissioner Buckner?
Present.
Commissioner Case? Commissioner Garvelia? Mayor Masser?
Present. Begin with reading and approval of minutes.
We all should have had time to review the minutes from the last meeting from October 14th. I saw nothing that needed to be changed or edited, so I make a motion to approve item B as presented.
I second it. Commissioner Story? Commissioner Buckner?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia? Yes. Mayor Masser?
Yes. Public property report, Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes, I have, nothing to, no voting items and, no purchase orders. So, and the updates on the city hall, still putting together the numbers, I should have that finished this week. And, we did that in the city hall here. And I just drove in from Tennessee, and I did notice that there's, a lot of signs that are, up that shouldn't be in inappropriate places on, right-of-ways, on poles and things like that, so it might,
Zillion was working on it today,
okay,
or Coates was working on it today.
okay, it might be good to post that again in the, on the city webpage.
Just to remind folks of what's
To remind folks, because, I'm sure, that no one's trying to do anything wrong, they just don't know.
Mhm.
So, just a reminder of that would be good.
So that we need to keep it. That's good.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cocker, Water Sewer Street.
One purchase order tonight for the sewer plant for a sludge press, $2,612.92. I'll make a motion to approve that.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Buckner?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes.
I have a full adjustment for Larry Wilson, 727 Old Orchard Drive here in Benton. Make a motion to approve that.
Commissioner Story? Commissioner Buckner?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Pass.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes.
No, lot these transfers, I had from item D, discussion approval of proposed subletting lots 53 and 54 Lake Benton Public Park, more commonly known as 53 Lewis Lane. I make a motion to approve that.
Commissioner Story? Commissioner Buckner?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes.
Item E, discussion approval of the reinstating or excessive adjustment or excessive use of water, commonly known as the leak ordinance. I think this is something we need to do, we can reinstate that, and I make a motion that we approve reinstating the 38-2-4.
I have a question.
Okay.
And that is there anything in this, I don't see anything in here that calls for any proof, any receipts, anything that.
Well, I've talked to our water superintendent, and I've talked to our water department, and there'll be, have to apply, get that, there'll be an inspection done for our superintendent.
Okay,
Before it is approved. It just gives the water department a way they can help a citizen out if they have a outside leak, not going into the sewer.
What's the effective date? What's the effective date?
After this meeting.
I'm gonna say 10/28, my guess.
Yeah, after this meeting.
Starting, so 10/29 tomorrow.
Starting March.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Buckner?
Yes.
Commissioner Case? Commissioner Garvelia? Mayor Masser?
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Moving right along. Public health and safety, Commissioner Story.
Yeah, I got a purchase order for a light bar for $1,143.12. The surface mounts for $103.84. Another mount for $34.32. Shipping $102.55. It's replacing the light bar that's 23 years old. Can't get parts for it on emergency response. I'll make a a motion to accept that.
Second.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn?
Yes.
The next thing I have, is, moving to the, our cadet, River Stilly. You wanna stand up, please? This is our cadet, he's put his time in, and now he's a paid-on-call firefighter. So I would like to make a motion to, okay.
I'm sorry, we had a little distraction here, we're good.
I'd like to make the motion to, for River to be a paid-on-call
I
firefighter.
second it.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Absolutely.
Commissioner Garvelia? Mayor Massersohn?
For sure, yes.
If I can add just a little bit to that, is that okay? Yeah, River is, as you guys remember, River's he was our first cadet kind of trial run, through the Benton High School. Certainly, if you know River, you know he pretty much excels at anything he does. He, not only did he complete the cadet process, which we had set up, he also completed the firefighter probationary process, which is what he would normally do in his after he completed his cadet. So he was able to complete both his first program and his second program in essentially about 1 year's time. So that moves him, with the request and approval of you guys, moves him to full paid-on-call status. He did all this while bringing the Benton golf team home with second place trophy at state. So he's a very ambitious, motivated individual. And we're gonna have him for about a year here, maybe short, a little bit shorter, until he goes off to University of Cincinnati to continue his golf career. I'm sure we'll see him every chance he gets to get when he gets home, and, so just want to congratulate him and.
Are you sticking on for the rest of the meeting? Shouldn't be too much longer. I'd like to get a photo of you three that we can share on social media and kind of recognize that, that's okay?
Yep, and, so we're pretty excited about him. He's got a good year coming here, and, he'll move on to Cincinnati, and he'll do great things, so appreciate it.
Thank you, welcome.
Thank you.
Official.
The next thing I have is, we have three new, paid-on-call firefighters that we wanna put on our list. Tyler Jennings, Dakota Reed, and Andrew Kelly. Firefighter Jennings will be, from the United States Marine Corps, in which he was a firefighter. Dakota Reed is a certified firefighter. And, Andrew Kelly is a transplant from Pinckneyville Fire Department. And can we assist us in our knowledge of this? I'll make a motion to accept them three.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn?
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Excellent. Council Finance, Commissioner Case?
Just one payroll from October 25th, this past Friday, totaling $103,004.35, with $77,284.65 out of the general and $25,719.70 out of the water and sewer revenue fund. I make a motion to approve that as presented.
I second it.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn?
Yes. Yes.
Nothing in item B. Item C, this is just a mere formality. We've been using Paystar to handle our online bill pay for our water and sewer bills. We still have Illinois ePay, it's still an active link right now. I would like to formally terminate our agreement with Illinois ePay. And we'll just be using Paystar as its own, and we're still exploring options to either use Paystar or another vendor to take electronic payments for zoning, police, all of the other liquor license, all of that. So I make a motion that we discontinue the use of Illinois ePay for water bill payments.
Second that.
Is that effective immediately? Yeah, effective as soon as Damien can get it done. No problem.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn?
Yes.
And that's all I have, thank you.
Mr. Attorney?
Mayor, the fire department, we've got the language all prepared, but the fire department did not have a chance to, I'm sorry, the police department, I'm seeing the fire.
We got a lot of fires on tonight. Like, wait a minute.
So, I need to have a table, I need a motion and a set to the table the ratification of that agreement.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Case? Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
That's it.
Excellent. Under public affairs report, it's really, most of it's under me tonight. Just a couple of things for the citizens to know. Our football team got a playoff game next Saturday, and it'll be out of town. If we win that one, we'll bring it back to Benton. You heard our chief talk about second in state for golf. We have XC regional champs represented in the room, and they got sectionals coming up this weekend. So there's a lot of activities, things going in around town. We're gonna recognize our volunteer groups in a minute. We had Halloween last weekend, and I think they've officially outgrown Capitol Park. You guys were shoulder to shoulder and elbows to ears and as full as you could get. And so with that, I don't know that I can stress enough how much different Benton looks 3 years later than it did 3 years ago. And it's largely in part to our volunteer. Kathy's always said, big on volunteerism, Benton has become a volunteer-intensive town. And tonight, I just want to recognize the 2 volunteer groups. So I've got just some certificates, 1 certificate for each group, and I'm going to start with the Benton area volunteers. And what I love is how you guys have like divided and conquered.
Yeah.
So for Benton area volunteers, you've got the Easter egg hunt, you've got the back to school block party. Am I missing anything in there? Those are kind of the 2 big ones.
And then we coordinate with the other groups.
Yes, and that's one thing I would like, and that's one thing I was gonna say is, it's not like these 2 groups go their own direction, these 2 groups work
We
together
help each other.
and support one another. And then Passion to Action, they do the Christmas in July, and they do the following we just had, and then we'll have a New Year's thing coming up, which the mayor still doesn't know what to do at midnight, he's kind of there but not. But, so I just wanna recognize the 2 groups, so I just need 1 representative. Let's first do veterinary volunteers, I just need a representative from that group. I have a certificate for you, and just a way to say thank you. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Caroline.
You're gonna close this. So all this says, and again, you guys do so much more than I could possibly really express well. I just want this to be a way to say thank you publicly for all that you guys do. It says volunteer appreciation certificate in recognition of outstanding commitment to the community. The certificate is appreciated, awarded to veterinary volunteers for your service, City of Benton, and then just a signature at the bottom. I just want to say, and then these are, we can share these pins, you can fight over those.
And everybody in that group stand up.
Yes, thank you. So, thank you all very, very much. And then I'd like someone from Passion to Action, I don't know if you were gonna go up, you were gonna make Kenny do it.
That's awful.
Yeah, there you go. And it basically says the same thing, the difference is it just says from passion to action. And really, we appreciate both groups. With Louise, though, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Hang on. So I just wanna say thank you for everything you guys do, and we really appreciate it, and I love seeing you guys work together, so thank you all very, very much. Thank you. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Passion to Action, you stand up as well. Let's get some recognition.
That's just a cry.
Yes, and I'm really serious, like, so, and one of the things that triggered it, when people talk down about the reality show coming to town, I really believe that we have this because they kind of sparked with something that many of you picked up a brand new. And
No, we did it.
it was happening, but like a lot of the events that we're having now is kind of as a result, like you guys have like taken that ball and you really run with it and really exploded the town with it, so. Our people have things to do because of you. And you guys have created opportunities for people to serve, and people to be taken care of, and like, it's a celebration, so thank you for that. I don't have any purchase orders. Under item 9C, discussion on approval of acquisition of property at 503 North Lanesboro Street. This is a great conversation. I'm gonna have Mr. Bryan help address that for us.
Yeah, man, this is just a former commercial building that has fallen into total disrepair and needs to be demolished. And the owner of the property was gracious enough to donate the property to the city so we could get it tore down and hopefully, you know, able to use the property in some kind of way, you know, perhaps even in a, community service type, application, so. Would just, like to get it tore down at this point. It's, 5031 McLean Grove Street. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that building. It's a brick building that is just a total mess, so we're gonna get that thing tore
Yes, I
down.
just drove by it coming here tonight, and the gentleman, the owner of the house just south of it was mowing in front of it,
Yeah.
and, you know.
So you're asking for a motion?
Promotion to accept that.
To acquire the
To acquire
property.
that property.
I make that motion.
Commissioner Story? Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes. Move forward with demo. Figure it out. Under item 9D, discussion approval of entering the grant writing services agreement with Heartland Media Management. The city of Benton has received grants in the past, and Greater Egypt's been helped with that. Our city engineer is Tammy of the grant writing team, she helps do that. But what I've realized, and what we talked about, and what Chris and I sat down and talked about, is that we've got a lot of things we need to tackle. And a lot of big projects we need to go after, West Main being partly one of them, but then also beyond infrastructure, if we're talking about a new city hall, if we're talking about escapes and things like that. And with that, we want to be more aggressive in how we go about applying for and securing grants. And so these two ladies have come along, and they have been very beneficial with Cesar. They've done some other work in some other communities. And so with kind of guidance, Chris and my conversation, I'd like to have a motion and second to approve securing Heartland Media Management to help write grants for us.
Another question, what's this gonna cost the city in the long run?
A lot of
I mean, there's different things here, but
It depends on the size of the grant. If it's a simple, small grant, it's easy to do. It's a much smaller, but if it's a much bigger grant with more involvement, it's a harder grant to write. So the cost is based on the work that needs to be done to put the grant together.
okay, so the more grants you want, the more you gotta pay.
The more
Good,
complex.
because the more complex and the more, and they're not gonna apply for a bunch of small grants just essentially in order to pad their invoice. They're gonna apply for grants when essentially one of us or a department says, hey, yes, we want this one, go apply for that.
And that's the city hall, that's not the PD or the fire station.
No, but they will be looking through various grants as well that would affect public works, public safety, anything like that.
Somebody may come along and chief back here may go, hey, I need apparatus that times 10, and they can find a grant and go get that for us. But we would pay in order to
It's
get
just not
those.
city hall, I mean, it's just not here. It's-
No,
that's
it's-
really-
it's
it's
not the
citywide.
entire city.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
so this, we pay them regardless if we get the grant or not, this isn't a percentage of a grant.
No, it's a fee associated to applying for the grant.
It's strictly a fee.
Yeah, because they're putting together the paperwork for us and submitting it on our behalf.
Which saves on the backside of it, because if they're taking a percentage of a very large grant, that's something that you would never really be able to get written into, like, administrative costs of these grants. I mean, sometimes you'll get administrative costs written into them, but there's already admin costs written in, and then you're gonna have to try to add an additional layer to it, which,
Sometimes there's pros and cons
Yes.
with that, because if someone's working hard to hit their percentage, they're
Right.
gonna work even harder.
right, but it also saves us from having to write very high five-figure, six-figure checks on a grant award, so.
I'll make that motion to enter into a grant writing services agreement with Heartland Media Management.
Second.
Commissioner Story? Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Mayor Masser?
Yes, yes. And the last thing I have this evening, obviously, you guys will recognize this, it's under my, did we already do this? It's kind of near and dear to my heart, it's the Franklin County Edge Program. Every year they put together a fundraising event, and they asked if they could come and share it and make a request to the council. We have a fund that allows them to do that. And so with that, I'm gonna allow these two gentlemen to come and introduce themselves and give their best speech. Please come to the podium, gentlemen. You know what a podium looks like.
I'm just gonna start and say that, so basically it's a double, what's your name? Sorry. My name is Cole Buchanan. I'm a high school student here in Benton.
I'm Parker Johnson, same thing.
Sorry. So it's a 2-night drive-in movie theater we're holding at the VF Outlet Mall. This is our class fundraiser. On Saturday night, this Saturday night, the gates will open at 6 p.m. We'll have a double feature, so you pay $10, you get in. We'll be showing Hocus Pocus first, and then Scream. There will be concessions and food trucks and stuff like that for people to buy. And then Sunday, we'll play Halloween Town and Ghostbusters. The gates open at 11:30 a.m. That day, we'll have a cornhole tournament. We'll have food trucks and concessions. We'll have 50/50 raffle. We'll have just inflatables and kind of like a festival type day for people to bring their kids and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna hand it over to Parker, and.
Okay, I want to share.
They have the packet in there.
Okay,
They
okay,
know.
I wasn't sure.
They have it.
I want to share a little bit about what your money would go to do. So first off, and kind of most obviously, is that this money helps us to put on an event that doesn't typically get to happen in Southern Illinois. We don't get to see many drive-ins, so we're hoping to get a good turnout to that because it's a rare event. It's something special that we get to do, but that's part of what your money helps to go towards. But ultimately, this is a fundraiser for our program. So eventually that money will come back to us, the young entrepreneurs in this class. And with that money, we'll take it and we'll start our own businesses, which will end up being 13 different businesses within Franklin County to kind of help fill the gaps within just the business world within Franklin County to kind of get some businesses that are lacking or just fill some holes there. So that's what your money would go towards if you were to help us put on this event.
Yes, question?
Does the other cities in the county, do they sponsor this?
Assessor made a donation as well, they made a $500 donation. West Ranger's contribution is they're helping, they're giving us obviously the space, and then Don Gas is down there helping manage that. So they're doing kind of an in-kind contribution.
Kind of like we did last year with the airport.
Exactly, yep, yep, so we didn't make the financial donation last year,
Right,
but
we did.
obviously we gave them the field and
Right.
all the resources to do it.
Amount, right?
Is there an amount that you guys are recommending, or that you'd like to recommend?
Well, we spoke a little bit with Commissioner Case on this just to see about what that in-kind donation looked like last year. And I think the number was around $750. Is that about what that would amount to?
Yeah, I would say we were probably in kind, probably a little bit deeper than that, but I think that would be an appropriate number. You guys have a level of that, and it kind of fits in between that level. But I think that would be something I would be pretty comfortable with. It would be $750, that comes out of that community investment fund in the telecom. So we budgeted, and I think it's only been clipped a couple of times thus far this fiscal year, so the fund's got it. So I would have no problem agreeing to do $750 for Edge for this.
Just need a motion,
So
second.
I'll make that motion
I'll
to
second.
donate, to agree to $750 sponsorship.
Second.
Commissioner Story? Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yep.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
And Mayor Lambert?
I'll support that almost there. Thank you, gentlemen, very well done.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, council. Yeah, please come out to the event. The weather looks like it's gonna be an awesome weekend. They've worked extremely hard on this. And it's something that you do, you don't usually see, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So we'd love to come, have you ever come and see that. Any miscellaneous business?
I have something miscellaneous, and this is, we have the two high school students here, and Jenny's from high school, and she's one of our volunteers. And it just makes, my heart is just exploding with excitement for the leadership that we see coming out of our high school. And with that, I would like to make a suggestion, and nothing we're voting on tonight, but you know, Jenny has put in 40 hours of volunteer service.
Just with the Ben area volunteers, but with other volunteer hours, I have around like 150. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so I would like to see our council adopt recognition, something, because these volunteer hours, this is on top of being A students and on top of being in the track team and whatever else that they're doing, governor and all the things that they're doing. And having these hours of volunteerism, because I'm telling you, volunteers are a dying breed. And so all these people out here who are volunteering for us, you know, I appreciate them so much. we live in a world now, it's hard to get people to do anything for pay, along with nothing other than the joy that it gives them in their hearts. So I'd like us to do a program in our city council that recognizes our youth, something that they can, accumulate their hours, and then we give them a certificate that can go in their portfolio for college graduation, or college entrance.
Yeah, okay, I like that, I like that. Good thought. Any old business? Anything else? Any new business? Very good, matters from the public. Mr. Carter?
Mr. Hayes, last meeting you were gonna find out the payoff.
$5,544,464.34 will be the beginning balance on November 1st when our next payment is made.
And when's the payoff date?
Hold on, let me retract that, May 1st of 2038.
I was kinda expecting that whenever EPA forgave half of that debt, we should have had this thing paid off in half the time. So we're doing something terribly wrong.
I would disagree with that, considering the fact that in those funds that are there, or that are sitting in water sewer revenue fund, are receiving roughly 5% in return, and our debt is carried at 1.75% on that note. So although I do agree that it would be nice to pay it off quicker, we are actually money ahead in an account that is struggling, because and it's a bond. You can't just willingly pay, you just can't just swing bonds off. You will pay a penalty rate when you pay a bond off early, you still have to pay a coupon. So, I mean, I don't disagree, I don't wanna carry debt, but currently, it's actually a smart financial decision to continue to make the payment as scheduled, instead of taking every single bit of money we have and dumping on top of it. We're roughly 3.25% ahead on 6 figures, month over month.
The county keeps saying the same thing on the courthouse too. The only thing is, in the long run, you end up coming out ahead on the interest side.
Well, I mean, if the rate falls and they go on a slashing spree of the prime, and it goes back to 1% or next to nothing, and there's a bunch of cheap money out there, then yeah, the smart move would be to try to move and get rid of that debt as soon as possible. But when rates are at 5%, give or take, depending on what fund they're in, you're actually money ahead currently.
We started taking and increasing the rates back in 2012. So, we're 12 years of paying rates that high on $14 million when it should have been paid off by now, or almost. Mr. Cochran, thank you for taking care of that issue on the leaks. You're welcome.
Good? Good. Anything else from the public? Yes.
On your program, what is the admission fee? What are you charging people for this?
It's $10 a person.
Okay, and what time is this start?
So, sorry, I'm just gonna grab the date, the time, so I don't tell you the wrong time.
6 p.m.
Sounds right. 6 p.m. on
It
Saturday
starts-
and 12:30 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay,
And it's an LED screen, so the light won't affect the
And then we start.
quality of the picture that you see.
so is it gonna be?
And we do have flyers that we've had up here, that we make sure we get you copies.
I just
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Make them sell it. Make them sell it. I said, make them sell it.
I wanted to know if it's inside or outside.
Oh, yeah, no, it's gonna be in the VF parking
I
lot,
know
which is
that's
the only
it.
parking lot big enough in Franklin County
Right.
that can host an event like that.
That's where it's soccer, they used to be soccer fields.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like soccer.
Very good. You had a question? Yes.
I'm in the scouting program
Yes.
here in town. And, I don't know if you know this or not, because I'm kind of funny about things. I believe a volunteer doesn't toot their own horn. But I'm gonna tell you something about your scout program in this town. It's not very big, cause we lose a lot of kids to sports, cars, girls, boys, whatever. You know, but the group that I have right now, and I've had for a long time, are really interested in scouting. And they're interested in giving back to their community. A lot of them are poor kids. It costs us $400 to go to 1 week of summer camp. It costs us $85 a year to register them. Now you can get financial assistance, but you can only get half of your troops. So the other half you have to come up with money. We sell popcorn, not a big seller, because who wants to buy microwave popcorn for $25? You can go get it for a lot cheaper. But anyway, the mayor of Johnson City a long time ago, his name was Jim, oh, I forgot what his last name was. Anyway, he was the mayor of Johnson City for a long time, and he was a big part of scouting. And when he passed away, his family started an award. And do you know that your little troop of Benton, per capita hours volunteer in the whole council, which includes Marion, Carterville, which is a big group, all the way to Harrisburg and Heron and in this area. Our troop has won this award. Originally, the first year they got it, and we've won it 2 more times. Last year we won it, and we had an average of per scout 300 volunteer hours in a year. And we blew everybody out of the water, because we will solicit people, you know, businesses, and say, could you help us get these kids to camp, or register for scouting. But like, for example, Representative Dave Severin has a project going on bottle caps. Please don't send him any more bottle caps, because he had all these bottle caps, probably 2 big trash bins full and boxes. And so the program is you recycle bottle caps, you take them to this place, and they will give you a bench, and he wants to donate. So
It
he
takes a lot
said,
of bottle caps to make that one happen.
yeah, so we said, you know, he said, well, I'll be glad to help sponsor a child, but, you know, you gotta do something in return, which we believe that too. You shouldn't just give a handout. You should work for it or give back to your community. So I think we did like 255 hours just sorting those. Well, now he's got just the same amount, but we've got 2 benches coming. One we're gonna get to donate, one he's gonna have done and donate. It takes 255 pounds of bottle caps to make 1 bench.
So, a couple things. When you do get the bench, decide what you're gonna do, please let us know.
I don't know what we're gonna do. If you have any ideas, let me know.
Well,
But
so
we
we
get
can part of
to
the
donate
conversation,
one.
but that's one, like, we look at the process.
Mhm.
And 2, would the scouts not also qualify for the fund that we created to help do that?
If they were to come and ask.
Yeah, so we do have a fund that we've set aside, it's a community fund, which Fashion
Well, I'll
Action's
make
using it,
them
they're
one.
using it. So there's a fund that, as the scouts, you can come and make an ask of the council, and we have funds that are set aside specifically for groups like the
I
scouts.
never even knew that.
Aren't you glad you paid?
I'm so
Yeah.
glad I came.
Yeah. So when that time comes and your need comes, come with a request, and make sure we have time to put it on the agenda, but give us a chance to put that on the agenda and have a conversation. We do have a fund we created for that, and that's, multiple groups in here have been able to take advantage of
Yeah.
that, so absolutely,
And we're having scouting for food coming up in November.
yes.
I hear that the Benton Minnesota Alliance Food Pantry is closing.
I haven't heard that.
Oh, that's what they told us.
The food pantry is staying open, and won't be doing other services.
Oh, good, because we
Yes,
didn't know what to
yes.
do with all this
It was
stuff.
in a.
Yes, yes, it was.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I mentioned that, because
Oh, I did see that, right? All right.
Because that is an Eagle project of a boy from St. Louis. And it is a national wide thing. And so, I have a lot of my volunteer groups that help me put bags out, because we have to blanket the whole town of Benton and then pick it back up.
A few years ago, we did that, and I really underestimated what it takes to do that, and then what it takes for all the scouts to come along and pick all that stuff up, so.
And then sort it.
Yep.
So if anybody wants to help this year, just let me know.
So please, if you
I know you are.
will, please communicate with the city,
Uh-huh.
let us know that that need's there, and we can help you get the word out.
Okay.
And like, sometimes we can't own it, but we can help you champion it. So we would come alongside all these different organizations and help you champion those kinds of things, so.
Thank you.
Good.
I just wanna say one thing, I mentioned 3 students representing the high school. River, I'm sorry, you represent the high schools as well. We're right there.
He's old hat, he's. I believe
I'll
we're
make
finished.
the motion to,
Anybody, no one else out in public?
Has everyone spoken that would like to speak? Sounds like it, looks like it.
I second Commissioner Stoy's motion.
Commissioner Story.
Yes.
Commissioner Hopper.
Yes. Oh, you need a
Commissioner
picture?
Hayes.
Yes.
Don't
Commissioner
all talk.
Yvonne.
Yeah, you don't need to go.
Yes.
If most volunteer groups would stick around too, I'd like to get a